Coming up on today's news, a social media movement to get Nia Jax rehired by WWE, The Rock denies his rumored WrestleMania match, Keith Lee breaks his silence since his release, Ollie's review of Raw, and more. It's now official. Your longest reigning Jam That Champion of all time, you're welcome. Subscribe in celebration of the greatest champion ever.
Support WrestleTalk!
Unless you've been living under a rock, not that one, although that might be nice actually, you'll have heard about the latest round of WWE releases where 18 stars were let go from their contracts, including the likes of Keith Lee, Karrion Kross, and Nia Jax. And it's the latter of those that was the subject of a renewed push to attempt WWE to rehire her. It was revealed after the fact that Nia was reportedly fired due to being unvaccinated against COVID-19, or it was at least a contributing factor, and Dave Meltzer reported that talent were never told that their vaccination status would contribute to their job status. She was also reportedly let go during a mental health break, which she had asked to be extended as she felt she needed more time. Former Divas champion Paige here took to Twitter to share a picture of her and her real-life very close friend Nia Jax with the hashtag Bring Back Nia. There is a vocal section of social media also calling for Nia's rehiring, so only time will tell if WWE listens to this section or not. One of the other releases last week was Keith Lee, which I still can't get over because he's the best. Lee had not commented on his release since it happened, but yesterday he took to Twitter to release a statement on the matter. This day is my birthday. Happy birthday, Keith. It is not a happy birthday, but it is one I am most grateful for. Several months ago, it was not a guarantee I would make it to this day, so there is a positivity in that. I paid all my medical bills from the many offices and machines I've frequented. There is positivity in that. I was going to wait a couple weeks, but I think it's time to look forward to the future. Forward march, as I like to say. I am capable of so much more, and I can't wait to see what it looks like properly. I have a wide array of interests and abilities. I also consider myself to be rather open-minded. Here's to a future that, for all intents and purposes, seems limitless. I, for one, can't wait to see what Keith decides to do next. Bloody love Keith, he's great. And unless you've been living under a rock, yes, that one this time, you'll have also heard that there have been plans in the works for a WrestleMania match between The Rock and Roman Reigns. Reports have changed over time as to whether this was the plan for WrestleMania 38 in Texas or WrestleMania 39 in Hollywood, especially since WrestleMania 38 was originally planned for Hollywood before the whole pandemic thing. There were reports that Rock could appear at Survivor Series this month to kickstart the build to Mania. However, he will be in Australia filming a movie. When isn't he filming a movie? Speaking with Dish Nation, Rock commented on the rumored WrestleMania match, saying there is no truth to that right now. Possibly down the road we will see. Down the road, title of your B pay-per-view. And in a separate interview with comicbook.com about the same subject, he said, I don't know if I have another title run, considering I'm the people's champion, but I don't know if it's another title run. I think possibly, there might be another match down the road. It would have to make sense. Sounds like something someone who definitely wanted that match against Roman would say. And now it's time for Ollie's review of last night's episode of Raw. In about 5 minutes, I hope he's wearing his bow tie. Thank you for being awesome pledge hammers on Patreon, The Roller Coaster, Robert Acosta, and Will always mark out for Ollie Landrum.
You too can get your own shout out by going to patreon.com/WrestleTalk. People say WWE aren't good at long-term booking, that they just throw away big announcements on social media because they forgot about a pay-per-view in 2 weeks' time. Well, to you, I present a whole year of the same how will they coexist storyline. How will they coexist? How will they coexist? How will they coexist? How will they coexist? How they coexist? Coexist. How will they? They will how coexist? Coexist? Never? Maybe? Find out! Great long-term booking for Survivor Series, bro! This episode of Raw opened up with Seth Rollins dressed as hipster Spider-Man asking, who is Kevin Owens? Not more importantly, why is Kevin Owens? Seth said Owens will always stab you in the back, so KO ran down and tried to stab him in the front. Owens' emotional intensity here was fantastic, putting over a man with a crisis of confidence on his own immoral decision to take advantage of Big E last week, not necessarily someone who intentionally turned heel. He carried this on throughout the night, begging people backstage to believe him. It provided a decent episode-long hook, and told a far more psychologically complex character arc than usual. Randy Orton didn't want Riddle to help their partners, the Street Profits, in their 8-man tag against the Dirty Dogs, Amos, and a returning AJ Styles next. But how will they coexist? They had a fun match, but it all felt rather pointless. In the end, it was the heels that imploded when Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode stole AJ's tag, meaning Riddle had to sell a tree slam for a minute and a half before getting pinned. I know they want to protect Amos, but wow. Just shows how they really don't see anything serious in Riddle. Randy RKO Dolph to stand tall. Veer Mahan is still coming to Raw. Can't wait for that. Definitely not Raw's authority figure Adam Pearce announced he'd made a mistake in selecting Raw's men's team for Survivor Series. Everyone is a former champion, apart from Dominic Mysterio. That's what happens when you let the social media team do the booking, Adam. Dom had to win a match to secure his place on the team, which ended up being against a man who's already beaten up Sunberg. He's got a taste for punishing your kids. It's a returning Bobby Lashley, complete with MVP in his corner. Bobby squashed Dom. But wait a second, now he's got to team with his dad at Survivor Series. Are they going to get along? How will they coexist? So I guess Pearce is a heel now too, if anyone cares. I like how Chad Gable is so good. When people are in the ring with him, they end up having a Chad Gable match. He targeted Beige's left knee with a crazy good-looking dragon corkscrew in the corner, laid in a moonsault, and hit great German and belly-to-belly suplexes, but then Beige hit the big ending for the win. He gave Chad a lot, but ultimately, this was an enhancement match. Beige squared off with Otis afterwards, potentially setting up a filler feud for Survivor Series season. I kind of forgot Reggie existed there, which was nice. He defended his 24/7 title in an actual match next against the one, the only Drake Maverick. Reggie looked impressive with the 3 wrestling moves he did, but then R-Truth walked down to get beaten up by Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, but the Hurt Business are thrilled about that booking, prompting a 24/7 title change to Drake Maverick. But in true 24/7 title style, Akira Tozawa pinned him, followed by Corey Graves and Byron Saxton, then Drake Maverick again, then Reggie won it back to escape. It was dumb, but I actually got a kick out of the Graves and Saxton spot. All the Raw women were standing in a row, barely coexisting. As definitely not authority figures, Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville announced a fatal 5-way match for the women in the Raw Survivor Series team, where the winner would get a shot at Becky Lynch's title. Great idea, guys. That'll help them coexist. This did lead to a really fun match, though, of Queen Zelina versus Carmella versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan, with Becky Lynch on commentary, dressed like she was going to Coachella. Vega and Carmella actually did coexist, the heels working together throughout, while Belair, Ripley and Liv wanted to have a competitive fight, with the main through-line build around Bianca squaring off against Ripley, potentially meaning they want to do that program down the line. But jazz hands no more, as Doudrop, who had been critical of Belair backstage for getting yet another title shot ahead of her, broke up Bianca's pin, letting Liv get the win. That was a cool way to get to Morgan versus Lynch, which I'm really looking forward to, and hopefully a heel turn means Piper can drop the Doudrop. Is that a TikTok dance? Drop the Doudrop. And the main event saw Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins, who are pretty good at this whole wrestling thing. Seth cut a promo beforehand, alleging last week was all a plan between him and KO, which Owens answered by beating the crap out of him. They went through 2 commercial breaks, earning a "This is awesome" chant from the crowd, with Seth even busting out the pedigree, a reference to a man that has connections with them both. But when they brawled outside, Big E momentarily got in KO's way, meaning Seth beat Owens by countout. The finish fell a little flat in the crowd, who were up and down throughout the night, but I thought it was another smart ending to fuel KO's downward spiral. He snapped, hitting Big E with a pop-up powerbomb on the apron. You could say that was him turning heel, but there's still an argument it wasn't premeditated. This was just KO reacting with frustration in the moment. As a psychologically tortured character, Owens is like the Eddie Kingston of WWE. What did you think of Raw? Let me know in the comments. 78% of you voted for Kevin Owens as a heel again. All is right with the world in our poll on a poll match on the community tab. I am loving KO's character work right now. The women's match and main event were a lot of fun, and biggest of all, There was nothing actively bad on this show. It's still way too long, there's no stakes, and WWE makes Survivor Series feel like a birthday party they accidentally said they'd go to 6 months ago but now no longer want to do it, but there wasn't anything actively bad. And that's the benchmark we have right now, or is a 3 out of 5. Now watch Adam Blompier's latest list, 10 times Vince McMahon lost his S-word on camera. That's such good S-word.
This week we're talking purely about Vince alone, casting a spotlight on all the times that Vince has lost his freaking mind, whilst also having recording equipment pointed in his direction. Some of these will be kayfabe just for a bit of mad flavour to show just how silly his legacy is, but most will be real life incidents of the mask slipping and the times we stumbled across actual moments of madness in amidst all the storytelling nuggets of gold in a storm of insanity. It'll be fun.